Welcome back to my channel, and before we start, I would like to shout out people. So thank you to Ate Daisy for supporting me when I said I'm gonna vlog. Thank you to my Facebook friends, to Stella, to everybody in Facebook, to my family for saying this, my brothers, to my mom, to my daughter, thank you so much. To the Malayu Balinon clan family, Balinon Malayu clan, thank you so much. To my Ngabit family, thank you so much for all the support. My friends in Facebook, Dominic Langfisan requested for shout out, so shout out to you. Follow his YouTube channel, Dom's BL Chronicles. We have Henry Burns, thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. See you when I see you. And to all my friends in Facebook, thank you so much. My family, my friends. If you want, on the next videos, I'm gonna do shout outs. So message me if you want individual shout outs. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Cheesy. Thank you. Thank you everybody for welcoming me in my vlogging. So let's move on to our lesson. Okay. Today, as you saw in the title, it is AR verbs. Now, personally, when I started learning Spanish, the AR verbs open up, something that says I can learn this language. That's why I'm starting with the AR verbs because this will open up, something that you can do it. You can learn the Spanish language. And that happened to me, so I want to share it with you. Because, learning a language, this will be like my sixth language that I learned. So it's hard at first, of course, when you're introduced to a new language. So when I saw the AR verbs, I said to myself, it is possible to learn the language. So before we start, let's us review what we've discussed, and I'll show you why this chart is very important. So let's go back to our pronouns. So the pronouns, let's start with the one vertical line and two horizontal lines. So that's gonna be the yo, tu with the guion, el with the guion, ella, usted. We also have our nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes. Okay. So, like what I've said, personally, I would go with the regular verbs first before we discuss irregular verbs on our next topics. So, why do we do this? Why do we conjugate verbs? Now, by definition, conjugation is the change that takes place in a verb to express tense, mood, person, and so on. So, conjugating verbs means altering it into a different form to provide context. We're actually doing this in English. I am comparing it to the English language so that you can see why we're doing it. So, an example in the English language, when it's first person, I would say, I sing. When you use it in the third person, it's she sings. So notice we're changing the verbs. Now, it's the same in the Spanish language. So, let's look at a very common Spanish verb, hablar. Hablar means literally to speak. So, if you're gonna use hablar as it is, you would say, yo hablar. So you are like saying, I to speak, which doesn't make sense. That is why we are conjugating these verbs for it to match its persons, first person, second person, and third person. So, the good thing about these regular AR verbs, aside from their ending in AR, literally ending in AR means to do. So, hablar means to speak. I am going to give you the pattern that we're going to use for the AR verbs. Now, the good thing about this is when you know the pattern, you don't have to memorize all the conjugations for the regular AR verbs. What you need is the verb and the pattern, and you can conjugate it while speaking with someone or while you are constructing your sentence. So, let's start. I'll give you the patterns that we will use for your regular AR verbs. So, let's do the vertical line and the two horizontal lines. Now, what you're going to use for the yo form is o. The two is a, ese. And here, singular third person is a. And then amos. And eyes. There is the guion because you're going to stress it. You're going to stress it when you're pronouncing it. When you see the stress or the guion, you're gonna stress it when you speak. So, and then the third person plural is a, ene. Now, how do we conjugate a regular AR verb? This is how we do it. So, you take off the AR, take it off, okay? You're gonna use what's left on the word. So, let's put it. Example, hablar. So, what's left is a, H-A-B-L. How do you say I speak? So, that would be yo hablo. Yo hablo. How do you say you speak? Tú hablas. How do you say he speaks? Él habla. And then, moving on, we have nosotros hablamos, vosotros habláis, ellos hablan, ellas hablan, ustedes hablan. See, this is why this is very important because we will be using it in all the conjugations that we will do for your verbs. So, with that being said, in Spanish, actually you don't have to put this part, the pronoun part. You can just say hablo español. So I speak Spanish, but when you're starting, I would recommend you put it first for you to memorize it by heart so that you don't have to if you move on with learning the language, you can just easily see and visualize your uh, first person, second person, and third person. So I'm gonna give you vocabularies. So let's start with so get your cuaderno y pluma for our vocabularies. So how do we say Spanish? Español. English, it is inglés. France, francés. German, alemán. So let's try constructing a sentence constructing a sentence. So how do I say I speak Spanish? Yo hablo español. Correct. How do we say he speaks Spanish? Él habla español. Él habla español. How do we say we speak Spanish? Nosotros hablamos español. ¿Vosotros habláis español? Ellos hablan español. Ellas hablan español. Ustedes hablan español. That's how easy it is to conjugate your AR verbs. So, same goes. Let's do inglés. Yo hablo inglés. Tú hablas inglés. Él habla inglés. Ella habla inglés. Usted habla inglés. Nosotros hablamos inglés. Vosotros habláis inglés. Ellos hablan inglés. Ellas hablan inglés. Ustedes hablan inglés. So that's how easy it is to conjugate the AR verbs. How easy it is to learn the AR verbs. That is why I told you earlier when I saw AR verbs when I was starting to learn the language, I told myself I can definitely do it. I hope you feel the same, that you can learn the language as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut this episode out, and then on that episode 2.5, we're going to call it 2.5, I will be giving you examples and conjugate AR verbs. I will give you a little bit of vocabularies as well that we can use on our everyday conversations. I will choose AR verbs that I would think would be normally used every day, or on a normal conversation. So right after this video, you can click on 2.5. So don't forget to click like, subscribe, turn on your post notification so you will be notified if I'm posting a new video. So this is it. Hope to see you on the 2.5 video. Bye!